Good morning. Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, January 14th of 2024. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives that create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. Today's topic is about how to soothe ourselves when we get nervous, upset, whatever, bored, lonely, agitated, whatever's going on, how to soothe ourselves without using comfort foods, self-soothe without food. So, boy, I tell you, this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart, my body, my soul. The food body spirit connection is one of those that, I was saying to somebody yesterday, in my human design. Human design is a way of looking at your birth chart. It includes astrology and the Chinese I Ching, the Kabbalah, metaphysics, a number of different modalities that it combines together to give you like an idea of how energy moves through your being, through your vessel, and what your potentials are. And I was at a retreat at one time with Karen Curry Parker and Michelle Vandepass, and Karen looked at someone's chart, at this woman's chart, and she said, "Oh, and your life purpose is," and she went just rattled it off in like a sentence and a half. And I said, "Wow, can you like give me my life purpose that simply?" And so she took a look at my chart and she said, "No, it's just not that simple." But so the whole thing about the food body spirit connection, food body spirit, earth, environment, spirituality, connection with source, all of that is included in my chart, and it is completely connected, but it's complex. It is complex. And because when it comes to our relationship with food and our need to self-soothe, right? We're here to walk a path that takes us into a perception of being separate from that which birthed us, right? That being life force, love, compassion, that container, that safe container that holds us in complete love and acceptance and has got us, right? Has got us all the time. We feel ourselves as separate from that, and we experience this world of turmoil, and it just fires off all of our nervous system reactions and our experiences of trauma, that little t traumas and big T traumas that really can make us feel unsafe, ungrounded, and very disconnected in a lot of ways. And so we've got all of that going on. At the same time, when you are in the womb, you are in that safe container. And there is a beautiful teaching in the Sufi teachings that the name of the womb it comes from the same root as the name for the eternal compassion that is the container of our entire existence, our entire 3D material universe realm. And so we come from, regardless of what your relationship with your mother was or your experience in the womb, you were held in that container of that vibration, that existential, eternal compassion. And you were connected to your sustenance, and you were nurtured there, and you were connected to sustenance and provision through your umbilical cord, right? You had that direct nourishment coming into your body. You didn't have to do anything to get it. And when you were born, you left that container and that umbilical cord was cut. Now you are in the care of someone else's arms. You do have to have an active participation in the ingestion of food. And that is completely coupled with that sense of provision, of safety, of nurturing, of our dependent nature on this earth, and becoming now from a spiritual being that has been like integrating into this physical form. You're now this physical form that's carrying this spiritual being into the earth plane, because now you're a part of the earth's ecosystem, right? We can't call ourselves on the earth. We are in the earth, right? That's what Mujahideen Ibn Arabi says, where you're not on the earth, you're in the earth. You're a part of the earth's ecosystem, right? We ingest foods from the earth and we eliminate our waste into the earth atmosphere, the earth environment. We breathe the air, we drink the water. We are a part of the earth ecosystem, and we can't exist in form outside of it. So, it's this whole dynamic is going on physically there, right? And there are foods on the earth that are designed to sustain us. But then what do we do as human beings? Because we have this whole journey that is about separating ourselves from earth, from nature, from spirit, and trying to walk this path and somehow be autonomous, individuated, and somehow prove to ourselves that we are more than or better than or different than, right? It's part of our path. It's part of the human journey that we walk on. And in doing so, look what we've done to the food system. We have taken the beauty of the earth and totally industrialized it and refined it and manipulated it to be different from what our bodies were designed to ingest and to absorb nutrients and nourishment from. So we've disconnected from the earth, and we feel ungrounded and uneasy and unsafe. We put foods into our bodies that do things in our system that our system tries to compensate for to keep us alive, but it's really just designed to eat the foods from the earth and apples from the tree and from, the plants from the ground. And so then we get like this whole the foods these days are engineered. They're engineered to stimulate the brain's pleasure centers and cause us that, like, okay, we're feeling this sense of uneasiness, this traumatic, this disconnection from traumatic experiences. And then we eat foods that stimulate our pleasure centers in our brain. You get the sugar, fat, salt combination that's firing off all of this stuff in the brain. So the brain has that sense of pleasure and that euphoria, right? And then food becomes a drug. And we're not nourishing our bodies. We're stimulating our responses to drugs. So food can be all of these things. There's a physical component, the emotional component, the spiritual component, and it's really hard to know where one begins and another ends. So we end up in this cycle of getting stressed out by a life that's disconnected from our spirits and the earth, and then trying to use foods to comfort and nourish and sustain ourselves. But we end up with foods that are triggering off all of our pleasure centers, so it's more like a drug. And we get in this cycle of trying to keep up with constantly stimulating, re-stimulating ourselves to bring us either comfort or disconnection from our pain, which really it becomes at times more of a disconnection from pain than a comfort for the heart and soul, right? And so today I want to talk about ways that we can self-soothe, right? That we can soothe the heart and the soul with what it really needs rather than reacting to a stress response and triggering the chemicals that put us into that euphoric drugging ourselves with what I'm calling stimulants, but in the form of processed foods and high fat foods and high salt foods and things like that. So, all right, with that said, let's come into our meditation and healing circle. Let's come into our circle, sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. Let's bring everything you've got to face toward the center of our circle. Bring all you've got, bring all of your senses, your eyes, facing forward, your ears listening forward, your nose facing and smelling forward, your mouth, your voice, your throat, your taste, your texture, all of that, everything sensual facing forward, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your sacral center, your hara, a ball of energy at the front of your belly space, bring it all to face forward. And in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate, we call on you. We ask you to send your essence of your pure divine light. And just imagine, sense, feel this pure divine light streaming into the center of our circle. And all of your being is facing into this light. And let this light just expand to meet all of your senses. And let yourself just face and stare into the light. Gaze into the light, stare into the light, face the light, open to the light, receive the light. And let this light come in. Just imagine it coming through your eyes, through your ears, through your nose, through your mouth, through all of your energy centers in your body, and through the pores of your skin. Let your entire being absorb this light. Just, if you will, let down your guard and open yourself and say yes to receiving this light into your physical vessel, into your body. And as you inhale, inhale and draw this light all the way into the center of your body. Right? The center is where you have that core of light that runs through the top of your head, and it runs vertically through your body, running halfway front to back, halfway side to side along the center, in front of your spine, moving all the way through your body. And just feel and sense that. Let yourself align your spine and upright your spine as you feel this, as it moves through your body, as it exists within your body, vibrates, resonates. And as you inhale, now draw all of that light through your pores, through your tissues, through everything, to meet that light at your core. And as you exhale, drop down and land into your pelvic bowl, settle into your hips, and feel your presence all the way into your pelvic floor if you can, and feel your connection with the seat beneath you. And again, as you inhale, draw all of that energy in through your skin, through your pores, through your tissues, all the way into your vertical core. Exhale, drop down and land into your pelvic bowl. And let your energy drop down all the way through your pelvic floor, all the way in and connecting with the earth if you can. Just feel that light connecting you into the earth. And just let your presence anchor into that pelvic bowl right in the center, that place there where is your center of gravity. Let yourself anchor in there and lean back, like as you upright your spine, right? And you can imagine at the very top of your head, the top of your crown, a string lifting up that part of your head so that your eyes and your nose and your ears, your chin and everything is facing forward, not looking up, right? And your spine is elongated. You're anchored into your pelvic bowl. Lean back into your spine and just feel yourself like in this gentle waterfall of that pure divine light as it runs through your core and as it comes through your pores and meets that inner core of light and fills your entire being with light. And let your conscious body just like be right in the center of it, absorbing that light like a gentle waterfall, raining that light on you. Let yourself feel it. And again, in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate, we call on you. We ask you to send your essence of your unconditional love. And just imagine, feel, perceive this unconditional love streaming into the space right in front of you, right? Bring everything to face forward into this unconditional love as it streams into the space before you. And turn your heart center, the funnel of energy that extends from the front of your chest, turn that to face right into this unconditional love. Tip up slightly and receive it, and let this gentle waterfall just pour in through that funnel into the center of your chest. And as you inhale, draw in that unconditional love all the way into your center. Draw that all the way into the center of your chest. And as you exhale, just blow out any of that clutter, constriction, anything that is obstructing that pathway of the heart. And as you inhale, draw that unconditional love deeper into your heart center, all the way into the center where that funnel that comes through the front of your chest, it goes all the way into your body and it meets that vertical core of light that runs through from the top of your head through your base, connecting from above and to below and from below and to above and within the center of your body. And your heart center goes all the way in and connects with that as well, with that vertical core. So draw that unconditional love in with your breath until it can go all the way in to meet with that center. And just let that love flow through your heart center and all the way into your vertical core, filling your entire core of your body. Just filling it up with unconditional love, more and more and more unconditional love, which is eternal. So you don't have to worry about being greedy with it. Just let it flow. There's more than enough for everyone. It is it's like a radio wave. And let yourself receive it, receive it, receive it, receive it, receive it. And again, as you exhale, just keep releasing any of the clutter or the tension. Let it go. And again, let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your essence of eternal compassion. And this eternal compassion, we talked about the womb that is the vibration of that existential eternal compassion. And that eternal compassion is the womb that contains the entire existence of our entire universe. So let your being, your whole body, here and now, be held in this womb of compassion. Your whole being be held in this womb of compassion. Feel the comfort, feel the safety, feel the embrace that holds you. It is loving, it is accepting, it is understanding. It's everything that you need to soothe yourself, actually. It's everything you need to soothe yourself. So let yourself, again, with each breath, drawing in that pure divine light into your center, breathing in that unconditional love through your heart, and feeling your entire being with each exhale just embraced in this eternal compassion that holds you, that loves you, that fully accepts and understands you, sees you, hears you, knows you better than you can know yourself, all the way from your outermost confused, separated self to your innermost connected and completely, what's the word? Connected and integrated self, right? Your all-knowing self, the complete wisdom inside. So this light and love and compassion understands you better than you can understand yourself, knows you from the outer to the inner, from the inner to the outer, and understands why. right? Understands the why. There's a time when you are in the womb, when you are still in the womb, actually, when your spirit is blown into the body in the womb. According to the Sufi teachings, that happens around 120 days in utero, that your soul, your spirit comes into the body. And along with that comes in Archangel Metatron is there, and that Metatron's cube comes in, that is the geometric patterning and structure of your existence that contains everything, that all of your life experiences that you're going to have here, all of the lessons you're going to learn, the wisdom you're going to gain for your soul, the purpose you're going to serve, everything is blown into that. And that Metatron's cube is this geometric patterning that contains all of the possibilities for everything that can play out in this earth plane, right? Is contained within that geometric patterning. And it also contains all of the provision and everything that you need to live this life and carry out what's been written. And that's all recorded in your book, right? In the book of your life. It's all recorded there. So people call that the Akashic record. It keeps that record, and that's all there from the time that you enter into the body, when the fetus is 120 days old. So that's, you've got a lot of time to hang out there in the womb and be held and nurtured and kind of, it's a beautiful story. This young girl that I worked with when she was about 6.5 years old, it's been several years ago now, 7, 8 years ago. And she remembered what it was like to be in the womb. She hadn't forgotten. When her umbilical cord was cut, she didn't forget. And she remembered, and she told her mom that she really liked being in the womb, because when you're in the womb, if you get scared, you can go back, she said. And her mom said, really? And she said, well, then you got scared? Well, what happened? And she said, you can go back and ask questions about what's going on. So you've got your whole mentorship team there, right? And you're with them, and energetically, spiritually, you can go back and ask questions. And she said, wow, that's that's really cool. And you got scared. What happened? And she says, well, Mom, you get to see everything. Really, right? You get to see everything. And, you hear about people who have those near-death experiences, and they're pure consciousness, and they can go wherever, and wherever they put their consciousness is what they sense and feel, right? And doing healing sessions, it's a similar kind of, similar phenomenon, I guess. But so she said, they show you a movie of your whole life before you come here, right? So no, not only is it all blown in there with all the possibilities and everything, you see the movie of your whole life before you come here. And her mom says, really? And it's scary? Well, if you don't like it, can you change it? And she says, no, Mom, you see, God has it all worked out. And it's like going to school, right? You have to go to school. You have to have lessons. You have to learn things. And her mom said, really? And she said, well, do you remember the movie? And the little girl said, and this is the priceless part, no, Mom, that would be like going on a treasure hunt when you already know the treasure. That would be like going on a treasure hunt when you already know the treasure, right? So think about that. You're in this womb. You're a pure spirit in this womb. You're integrating into this physical form. And this physical form has this whole movie, right? That it's been shown, and it's got the whole thing integrated into the energy body, the spirit body that is integrating into this physical being to come here and play out this existence, play out this movie. You are the star in your own movie. And the movie has been scripted, but I believe there are, as it says, many possibilities of how things can unfold depending on the choices we make. And I actually kind of believe that perhaps there are times where, there are choices made and parts of us split off and experience different choices in different planes. So anyway, that's a little off topic. But anyway, the so feel yourself, number one, if you can, completely held in this womb. And this whole existence, your mother is there, right? But this is outside of the personality uh, dynamics you may have with your mother on this earth plane. So see if you can just put yourself into that existential compassion that completely holds and contains your entire being. Meanwhile, your physical vessel, as your spirit is integrating into form, your physical vessel is being fed by this umbilical cord that is nourishing and developing your physical body. And your spirit that is completely connected to the realms outside of this time-space dimension, right? Completely connected spiritually and has all of the knowledge, all of the knowing, right? That's integrating into your physical form. Now, that level of connection and that level of knowledge is still present inside of you. It's still there. And your being is still held in this womb of compassion. It is still present for you. It is still there. And everything that you can access from that time when you got scared and could go back and ask questions when you were integrating into the womb, all of that is still there for you. This movie that you're playing out is like a simulation. It's like um an illusion, right? My teacher used to call it's an illusion. It's a simulation. We're here for the spirit body and the soul to have experiences and to learn from those experiences and to glean wisdom, to evolve the soul, and to serve purpose. We serve a purpose here, right? And that purpose is just another way that we learn, that we understand and really know source, right? Because we are made, we have in the center of our chest that feeling sensing heart, that heart center that expands when we feel fulfillment. And that feeling, when we feel like, oh, we're not being fulfilled, we feel a yearning inside of ourselves. And that yearning is like a tractor beam that draws us like an attraction to what it leads us to, where it guides us. And that is how we are guided to that which is going to bring us fulfillment and purpose. And it's all divine designed, and it's all here on earth for us to play out exactly as we're supposed to play out here. Learn exactly what we're supposed to learn, gain the wisdom, evolve the soul, serve the purpose. It's all here. It's all here with all of the possibilities and all of the provision. So if you can be with that sense of being held in this womb of compassion that contains everything that you need for your earth journey. Feel yourself, if you got a blanket nearby and you want to wrap up in that blanket real tight and feel that container around you. And let's just call on that pure mercy and compassion. Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Those are the names for the ultimate eternal compassion and the mercy. The compassion that contains your entire existence and the mercy that pours into that place of yearning in your heart. right? So let your entire being be held and just call on, just like we call on that light and love and compassion, let your heart center and all of your senses, just imagine this compassion streaming in right in front of your face, and just let everything that you've got turn to face this compassion and receive it into your being. Let it hold you, let it surround you, let it support you, let it remind you of what the core of your being, your spirit body, your inner wisdom, your inner knowing already knows. Let it remind you, let it hold you, and just ask for help and support from your source directly. Help me to remember. Help me to remember my true connection with you. Heal me from that which separates me from you, or my sense of separation from you. Flood me with your compassion and your mercy and your love. And let that come in. And if you feel that coming in, and you feel places that are like arising in you of like a wall, or like a lump in the throat, or a cage around the heart, or whatever, that's okay. Just let this compassion and this mercy come in. Let it surround those places. Let it hold those places too. Our energy bodies and our physical bodies are equipped with protective mechanisms, and those things that feel like a wall that covers the heart, or where the heart turns away, or the lump in the throat, or the constriction. If you feel, just notice your breath. You might feel a constriction in your breath. Let that be okay. Let this mercy and this compassion come in and just be with those places. Let them be seen. Let them be witnessed. Because from this realm, like on the earth plane, you can hide them. But from the spirit realm, they're not hidden. They're not hidden. And that which sees, knows, and understands. So just let them be held. And you don't have to fix yourself first in order to be held and contained in this love and compassion, this mercy. Let those places be held, right? And let that be held. Let that be held. That part of you that gets frightened or nervous or upset or feels disconnected and wants to be soothed with food, with comfort food, that pathway, that neurological pathway, can be so automatic and so hidden that we're eating or buying foods before we even recognize it. But you know that your body's not hungry. Your body's not asking for more food. And your body's not asking for the kind of foods that are going to stimulate the pleasure centers in the brain and kick off all of the addiction wiring. Your body asks for food that gives it vitamins and minerals and hydration and nutrients for its sustenance. So that part of you that craves, that craves the comfort foods, let that part of you, if you can tap into where that lives in your body, let's invite that part of you to also open and receive this flow of mercy and compassion. And if you notice like that part might be really tense, and that's okay, just let this mercy and compassion flow around that space. Let this mercy and compassion flow around that space. Let it be held. And again, let it remember, right? Ask for directly from your source to remind this part of you of its truth, what it really needs, where its sustenance and nourishment comes from. And as that is pouring in, I want to give us a sound to bring into this, like wherever you may be feeling constriction in your body, and it may be your whole body. Like I said, I sat in meditation with this for 3 hours this morning, and boy, it was some really intense stuff coming up. And so I was doing this very process that I'm describing with you right now. The sound is the sound of like a soft TH, like as in think, or as in it's hard to hear it through the recording, but it's the soft TH, the right, and direct that sound, almost like a hissing sound, into those places in your body that are feeling constriction. That TH sound, it like has the uh, property of like spreading, right? Of like spreading, diffusing. And the TH, right? It's like a spreading, diffusing. Bring that in. The TH in the cosmology of sound, in Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi's cosmology of sound, is associated with the divine names of the nurturer and the provider, right? The nurturer and the provider. So as you like, just imagine as you're like spraying this TH vibration into these places of constriction in your body, just let that kind of diffuse the space, especially the hardened and constricted space. Let it diffuse the space, and let it like diffuse it with this energy, the divine power of the nurturer and the provider, right? Which reminds this part of you of its own innate knowing that it is completely nurtured and provided for by the divine, by its source. And its innate nature, its innate life force contains that knowing. So bring that soft TH and diffuse it into that space, and let it, as it diffuses, let that mercy and compassion and that power of the nurturer and provider, just let that diffuse into that space, and breathe with that. Breathe with that, letting that come in. Another property of that TH sound is as it diffuses and brings in that nurturer, that provider, right, which is all a part of the love and compassion. It also brings balance, balance between body and spirit, balance between the feminine and masculine, right, and connects it with the unity, the unified, the all-containing, the all-knowing. So it brings that balance between the receiving, the being, and the doing. So bring that TH, that soft TH, and breathe that into that spaces of constriction in your body. And again, just inhale into your core, exhale, drop down into your pelvic bowl, realign your spine, just check that alignment, lean back into your spine, and let yourself receive, right? Bring in that TH sound and that soft TH sound, and let yourself receive this vibration, the existential nurturer and provider. Let your entire being receive that and be reminded of this which is contained in your existence, in your spirit body. Right? This is a the struggle of our relationship with food and sustenance, nurturing, nourishment, enoughness. That is and that full on connection. That is the existential struggle of the human journey, right? We perceive ourselves as separate, automatically missing from something, automatically not enoughness, automatically in fear of preservation and protection and nourishment and nourishing and safety, security, where that provision on the physical once came through that umbilical cord and the body was contained in this tight, safe womb. It is now in a different form, but in the deep way, it is still completely connected to the provision and the nourishment and completely contained in that tight, safe womb. So let yourself feel that through the compassion, the mercy, the nourishment, the nurturing, and let your entire body receive, 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 and invite invite your cells to take in this nourishment and this nurturing all the way deep into the cellular consciousness. And again, breathe it deep into the center of your heart, into the center of your chest. And let it meet with your vertical core of light and fill your entire core of your being. So the entire core of your being radiates with this knowing of compassion, of nurturing, of provision, of trust, of safety, and drop down into your hips, land into your pelvic bowl, feel your energy all the way at your pelvic floor, and let that sense of security really drop in and connect you into the earth, into your body and into the earth, and let your spirit body come all the way through and connect in with that. And let that continue to percolate and continue to settle in and integrate as you let your body, if your body feels like, just notice your breath. Where's your breath? Stay in this centered and grounded place and let your breath expand, right? Take a fuller and deeper breath, with that breath, let your chest expand and let it receive. Because sometimes we're in that state, we can't breathe, right? We're feeling that fear and that disconnection, and we tighten our chest and hold the breath. So just as you expand your breath gently, expand your chest, and let your whole chest, heart space receive, 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 receive this compassion, this mercy, this provision, this nurturing sustenance, sense of safety and security. Let that go all the way in through your heart, all the way into the center. Breathe it in, lean back into your body and receive. And receive. And as you exhale, drop down, land into your hips, center in your pelvic bowl, and feel your connection with the earth beneath you all the way through, all the way through. Feel that sense of security and safety. Feel yourself held in this womb of love and compassion. Again, if you need to bring that TH sound in, let it diffuse into your body and into that space, just like diffusing any of the tension and spraying in that nurturing and that provision, and let your whole body, every cell of your body, take that in, that knowing that no matter what, you are not forgotten. You are not alone. You're completely held in love and compassion. Receive the nurturing, receive the provision. It is there, it is here. You've got it, and it's got you. Let yourself take that in. And just feel into your belly. Does your belly need breath? Or does your belly need cradling, holding? You can put your arms like you're holding a baby and hold your belly. And breathe into that space and let yourself settle. Let yourself settle and land into your pelvic bowl. Ground into your hips. Feel your connection with the earth as a being of light, being of light, being of love, being of compassion. Receive the mercy. Let it fill your entire vessel and ground you all the way into the earth. Receive, receive, receive. Now, in terms of the self-soothing, this is a meditation that really, if you can do this practice of calling on that light and love and compassion every day, and for those places that feel fear and constriction, bring that soft TH sound, right? And kind of just spray that in and let that space be diffused and let it absorb the nurturing and the provision, right? And let it be reminded of its existential nature. Let it be reminded. Take that in. Take it in. So this one thing that when you find yourself in that place of, where sometimes you just don't know what to do with your energy needs to move, it needs some sort of engagement, right? And you don't know what to do with it. Sometimes it's going to be that your energy wants to move. And maybe you're in a space where your energy can't move, right? Where you're constricted and you're feeling like, I got to do something with myself and I can't, right? Well, this is one thing to settle your energy and to make that TH sound and let that remind you to kind of diffuse your energy and let that love and compassion and that nurturing and provision, that sense come in and fill your space. But still your energy wants to move. You want some engagement. Maybe you want mental stimulation or something. There are a lot of things that you can do, right? Along with this, there are a lot of things that you can do. So you can find things like, I just want to offer some suggestions, right? Things to keep you busy. Keep your hands busy and your mind engaged and your creativity, your creative juices flowing. There are a million things you can learn to do on YouTube with YouTube videos, right? If you want to like start or you want to put games on your phone. I know in a sense this is like trading one addiction for another, right? But when it's a different it's something to help you to break the pathways that have been formed. and your nervous system will find new neurological pathways to flow along. But meanwhile, you're not putting harmful substances into your body that your body has to figure out how to compensate for. When your body is figuring out how to compensate and protect you from foreign substances and rid them from your body, it's robbing the nourishment and the minerals from your body in order to perform those functions. And that's what causes disease. So you're stopping that cycle and letting your body, your physical body, rebuild itself, while, sometimes you just need that stopgap of pick up your phone and work a puzzle, or if you have a community, maybe a book club or a documentary club or something like that. And with the Community for Conscious Living, I'll just put a call out right now, because with the Community for Conscious Living, I would love to have things like this. As I mentioned before, literally weeks after I started this community, which has been more than 7 years ago, my father's wife passed away, and he was left living alone with congestive heart failure and not expected to live through the year. So I moved in with him. Here we are 7 years later. He's 101 years old and I'm still here. So it's taken a lot of my time and attention and focus away from the things that I wanted to build that online community to be. One of those, I would love to have a book club that is, reading like metaphysical books, a documentary club that is watching really, helpful, health-centered documentaries, different things there, subgroups within the Community for Conscious Living, that help us to really educate ourselves and align our habits and behaviors and our systems to really live more consciously, right? So if you're somebody who would like to take on a commitment like that and lead a group or be a part of a group of something like that, let me know, because I don't have space to run it all myself, but I have space to hold the space for someone else to run it and develop it and grow it within the community. And I would absolutely love that. So if you have that interest, let me know. But things that you can do to occupy yourself, soothe yourself until the cravings pass, until your body can regulate and your pathways can reestablish to remember the innate wisdom in your body and the healthy, the true nourishment and nurturing that your body needs, right? I have over 200, probably maybe even, I have well over 200, maybe even 250 meditations just from this weekly meditation and healing circle that you can use. So by all means, go to my blog, to my YouTube channel, to the Self-Care for the Soul podcast, which you can find just about anywhere where you can find a podcast. Go there and take advantage of these meditations. Use them. They're healing meditations. Use them on a daily basis. I have the download when you sign up for reminders and replays for this Community for Conscious Living weekly meditation and healing circle. You receive a 15-minute guided meditation that you can download and use a part of your daily practice to help you to remember that light and love and compassion you are. Let that be a healing experience for your body. Let it be a remembering and a resetting of your systems. Use all of the tools that you've got, right? Use all of the tools that you've got. If you need mental stimulation, play a game. If and we've all got them on our phones now, or we've got cards or whatever. If you need the connection, community, right? There's plenty of communities that you can tap into and find something of your interest. If you need creativity, a creative outlet, right? Or something to engage your energy, look on YouTube, because there's tons of things you can learn to do there. There's so much. And if you have any other suggestions, look for the post in the Community for Conscious Living Facebook group and post your suggestions there, right? I'd love to know what you use, right? And what you find helpful. And, this is all really until like in the process of doing this, the key is to get off of the foods that stimulate those pleasure centers in the brain that kick off all that wiring in the brain, the addiction centers. And also, if you can get yourself off of the caffeine roller coaster, right, where you're spiking and crashing and spiking and crashing, that's going to help as well, right? Because you spike and then you crash, and it's like, oh, I need a candy bar to bring my energy back, right? And so if you can get off the caffeine roller coaster, you're going to find your energy is more stabilized through the day, and you're going to sleep better as well. And the same with just any kind of foods that spike and crash your blood sugar and your energy level. Set yourself up. Next time you go to the grocery store, make yourself a list of what are the kinds of foods that you can eat, like an apple or an orange, or, a fruit that has sugar and sweetness to it that also has all of its nutrients and its enzymes and its fiber with it. That's healthy for your body, right? Set yourself up with salads, with things that are going to, um, things that don't have added sugar, things that don't have that sugar, salt, fat combo, and processed foods that are not processed is like really key. Foods that are not high in fat. Stay off the dairy because your body is not meant to have dairy, right? You're not a baby cow or a baby goat or anything like that. You're a baby human, and all babies only have their mother's milk up until a certain point when they can be weaned and eat the foods from the earth. So wean yourself off the mama cow or off the mama sheep or the mama goat. Wean yourself and take the foods from the earth. Your body is not designed to ingest and assimilate foods from a larger mammals or any other mammals' milk. Not even from your own mother at this point. If you're hearing this, listening to this, and you know what I mean, you're old enough to be weaned. So wean yourself of all dairy. Let it go. It's a horrible, and then not only that, our meat and dairy industry is so horrific that there is you're tapping into this constant pulsation of trauma that is just, pulsating, blanketing our entire earth because of the way that system is present in our environment and in our atmosphere and in our culture. So if you can wean yourself off of that also, we don't need it. The body does not need it. The body is meant to be sustained from the plants and the minerals from the earth. Take them from the earth. And that's all going to help. I remember when I was wanting to, it was pretty interesting when I decided I wanted to give up meat. It was very interesting because the only time I really craved that fatty, heavy food, the meat and dairy, is after I had been drinking. If I had drank too much the night before, then I wanted animal fats the next day. And I remember saying, well, okay, I'm just going to stop drinking because I don't want to put those animal fats in my body anymore. So I stopped drinking too. And drinking alcohol is just a form of sugar that is processed differently in your body, right? Sugar is processed. So, the alcohol is processed in the brain. That's why you feel tipsy. Sugar is processed in the stomach and the liver, but so you don't get the same tipsy feeling, but you do get the stimulus of the pleasure centers, right? You just experience it differently. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing, and it's all addictive foods, right? The processed foods are addictive foods, the high fat foods, the meats, the dairy, all of that. Just let that go and use these things to occupy your energy, the games, the communities, the things like that. You might get in the creative outlets, whatever it is that you've got that you can use. Like, be present with what you have in front of you and use it to sustain yourself while your body readjusts and regulates. And then spiritually, once your body like regulates and cleans itself out, it really opens you spiritually to be a cleaner, clearer vessel and to feel more like physically the vibration of spirit within your body. It's an amazing phenomenon. So it's the whole, the food body spirit connection in a nutshell there. It's a deep, deep and challenging part of our walking on planet Earth as spirit beings in these physical vessels. It's so important and rewarding physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually when you take that journey. So please use everything you've got. Use my meditations. Come back to this recording. This replay will be up soon. All right. And with that, let's just take a breath and just give gratitude. Give gratitude. If you want to make some notes, if something's coming through to you, to like things that you might want to do to reestablish your habits, your activities that you can use, meditations you want to go back to, different foods you want to buy, then write it down right now so that you'll have that and you can refer back to it. You won't forget. Okay. And let's take a breath and be in gratitude for whatever you may have received. I know we went long today. It's like I said, this is the topic that is nearest and dearest to my heart because everything affects everything else, right? Also affects the health of the planet and everything on it, as well as our environment and our climate, right? So important, so important. Okay. And in gratitude, we give thanks. And with that, I'll open for discussion Q&A. If you're listening on Facebook, there's a link there that you can click on to join us by computer or by phone, and you can be a part of the Q&A discussion. If you're listening to the recording, you're invited to join us live on Sundays at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. You can find information for joining us at communityforconsciousliving.com. communityforconsciousliving.com. While you're there, sign up to receive the reminders and the replays of this event and other events that we have. When you do, you receive that guided meditation I was talking about that I hope you will download and use a part of your daily practice. It's a 15-minute guided meditation, and it also comes with a one-sheet reminder of who we are, what this earth journey is about, that you can just like put it on your door so you see it every day when you wake up and, remind yourself that this whole realm is an illusion and you are here for an experience of it, but it is not who you are. Okay. So you are enough and you have everything you need. All right. And with that, I am ending the recording and opening for Q&A. Thank you very much.